Good morning, sunshines. It is February 29th, Thursday, 11:58 a.m., 2024. Morning thoughts for you. Oh my God, so many. Life is so abundant. There's so many things I wanted to share with you this morning. One is, oh my God, okay. Do you fear failure, or do you actually fear success? Because what I've feared for quite some time is success. I actually haven't necessarily feared that I'll fail at things that I do, because my pattern so far is I succeed at everything I do. Really, there's nothing that I failed at. Okay, maybe school was tough, but that's just because I wasn't necessarily that interested in certain or I didn't see the value in certain courses in high school or things like that. It was just hard. But now I freaking love studying. I love school. I love all that stuff. Or I guess maybe I have failed at some things, but I don't look at it as failure. But what I've recognized over the years is that I've really feared success. So there's this deep knowing in me and I don't know if it's me or if it's because of my environment, but I've always felt that I'll be famous. And it feels so weird to say that out loud, but I don't care anymore what others, if you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't care how you perceive that statement, because I'm not like, oh, I need to be famous. I actually for years have been like, do I want that? I feel like it's inevitable though. I don't think it's really my choice. I think it's my path. I think it's something that I just have to accept in order to do my purpose. Because I don't necessarily know if I want that attention. Obviously I want the influence that comes with it because I want to help the world, but you sort of have to surrender to the pros and cons of it all. I don't know if it's me, my inner knowing, or because my whole life, were you as a 9-year-old, did people ask you for your autograph? I didn't really think anything of it, because people have just asked for my autograph my whole life, even though I'm not necessarily somebody. I am, obviously, but I'm not somebody who you'd ask an autograph for. But since age 9 or maybe 7, literally, adults would ask me for my autograph because they were just like, oh, she's going to be famous. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's actually insane. Let me know if this is normal or not, because I'm just curious. I have these thoughts that I don't necessarily share out loud because I think they're so bizarre and I didn't want people to perceive them in the wrong way. But I don't care how people perceive my words anymore. I'm simply just being me. But for years, I remember a couple years ago, I was sitting outside with my boyfriend at the time. We were eating lunch, rosemary rock salt bagels. It was so yummy. And I remember thinking, just being so grateful in that moment that there was no paparazzi around, even though, who am I? Yes, okay, I'm me, but there's no paparazzi around me. Nobody's that's not in my world yet, but there's just, for so many years, I would think, appreciate it, because this is not going to last forever. This privacy, this alone time, this not being known just simply won't last forever. And it's such a bizarre thing to say out loud. It still feels really weird, but not that I have no fears, but fear, I decided the other day that would never hold me back, honestly, because, okay, side note, it makes me emotional. I saw so much racism in that moment on the tube in London the other week. Actually, it was Valentine's Day, and it made me cry, because it's this is a day of love. And then this white man was literally stepping on this black man's foot, and the black man was like, hello, are you aware that you keep stepping on my foot? And the man was like, oh yeah. And it was like a movie, and it made me so sad to see that this is still happening in the world. And I've been in such a bubble my whole life that I've never seen it in front of my face like that, where it just made me so angry inside. And they had the conversation, like the white man was like, yeah, gives me more power. Like it makes me feel better about and I'm like, is this conversation really happening? Like you're not even pretending that you're so, and the black man was like, oh, you know, that's like a big insecurity sort of. And he just, oh, so much respect for this man. I felt horrible. He's an older man. It's like, shit, you've probably been dealing with this your entire life because of how calm you are. Like a younger man probably would be like, fuck you, you know, and get angry like I was angry. But you could tell this man had been through so many experiences where he was so calm and he was just trying to speak to the man like, hey, you know, that's too bad. I feel bad for you that you feel the need to do this to other people. And I was sitting there, and at first I felt myself like sending hate towards this white man, and I had to stop myself and be like, no, this man needs love. And I was just emanating, like beaming love into him. That's what I do to people who are not okay. And I wanted to say something, but I felt fear in that moment because, you know, my parents have sort of told me just about Judaism and stuff, like sometimes, you know, don't be a hero and stay alive, like for religious stuff. But this, so I was nervous because I was about to get off the tube in a few stops, and I was nervous that this white man might like follow me, and I don't know, something would happen. I'm a little girl, and I felt fear, and I didn't say anything. Fear held me back in that moment, and it took me a moment to register it, that I didn't take action because of fear, and it made me so angry. And then instead of me being upset about myself, I like ran through this process quite quickly because, well, I self-aware and reflect a lot. I'm self-aware. I'm just trying to get through this story quickly. Sorry, super detour. And so I decided, okay, no need to be disappointed in myself. Just learn from this and let's move forward. But I will no longer not take action because of fear. I will run through the fear. I will move through that. It's not an option for me to have fear control that. So that was a declaration I made to myself. And because I felt I would honestly rather have spoke up in that moment and hope for the best, nothing happens, but I would have felt better than if I didn't, out of, you know, safety. Because it's like, realistically, the group of black men would have protected me. I would have been safe, or God protects me. Like, I truly feel that spirits and everyone above me, the higher powers, are protecting me. I also ask for protection in and out because it's a new habit, but apparently there's dragons. You can see my ADD mind. Apparently there's dragons that protect us, like I saw a TikTok once. So anyways, when I go out, I ask the dragons for protection to help me get from where I'm going. And all is well. So anyways, back to the story. I just felt so disappointed in myself that I didn't speak up, because I feel like even though for a second I had the thought, oh, well, what can I do? And it's like, well, hold on. That's where it starts, though. It does start with you. You can change the world. You just have to speak up in that moment. So if I were to do it over again, I can't in that moment, but I will in the future, I would have been like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? Even though the dynamic was weird because it's these two grown men and it kind of felt like, who am I to get in the middle of it? But it's like, but that is the thing. You do have to get in the middle of it. If it was a Jewish situation, I would have gotten in the middle of it because I felt like it would have been in my place to say something. But in this situation, it felt like it wasn't my place. And I thought, well, that's the issue. I'm thinking, like, what a privilege to be able to have the choice to not get involved. But if I was a black girl, it wouldn't be my choice. I'd have to be involved because I'd experience racism or I'd experience anti-Semitism, something like that. So anyways, that was that. That's how I came to the declaration that I will not let fear hold me back anymore. Which was really nice because it made me so sick seeing that. Honestly, I wanted to puke. But as sad as it is, I'm happy that I did, just so that I can now take action moving forward and help the world. Just like peace and love on a day of love. It was so much hate and it was horrible. Anyways, peace and love. That's just a learning experience that I'm sharing. Back to the fear of success / the fear of failure. I felt I was afraid to succeed to the point that I see myself, like I've seen this vision my whole life of all the things that I do, and I was afraid to achieve that or to just be there because I know that it's sort of beyond the average person. Like it's not a normal thing. And I didn't want my loved ones to like resent me for it or to see me surpass them. But now I've realized that it doesn't matter, and I'm sharing this because I feel like there's probably so many people that feel this, but there's such bizarre things to say out loud. So I'm saying it out loud for you to relate to. Luckily, I have a few friends who we've seen sort of these visions for ourselves, and we could talk to each other because it didn't sound like we were bragging, like, oh my God, I'm going to be famous. It's like, no. It's actually not an option for me. I just feel like that's my life path and purpose. I don't really know why I will, or I do now. I think it's, through my book and mindset and all this stuff that I talk about, and it's just simply living your best life is what it is. It's as simple as that, which I think before it was hard for me to believe, like, could it really be that simple? It's like, yeah, everyone else has their strengths. My strength is just being positive and being happy and being me. As each of our strengths are just being you. So that's my purpose, is to help you be you with no limitations. Anyways, about that. What I've realized, so moving here, I had done a lot of work before leaving Vancouver, Canada, I wanted to make sure I had no limitations. I just let go of all my limiting beliefs so that when I got here, I could thrive. I could skyrocket. I felt like Vancouver wasn't the place for me anymore. It didn't feel like my seed was growing in that soil. And I thought, okay, it's not the seed, it's not me, it's the soil. And that's not necessarily always the situation. Sometimes you do need to work on yourself. And I mean, always, I work on myself every day. I'm obsessed with it. Sometimes it's like, oh, I gotta move on with the day. But that is the day. That is my day, and that's why I make it my reality and helping others do the same thing. Sorry, can you see how my mind thinks through these audios? It's like 500 railroads going in 600 different directions, and it's exciting and it's thrilling. I don't know my journal because I was writing this all, and then I thought I'll just share it out loud. But I realized, say for my family, they won't feel resentful. And if they do, then that's too bad. And I've accepted that actually just is my life purpose. I don't think they will. I think everyone will support me. And if they're truly my loved ones, they'll support me unconditionally and they'll love me unconditionally, even if I surpass their, in quotations, what is surpass? It doesn't really matter. Everyone has a different life path. But if you're attached to your ego, then it might seem that way. But what's helped me allow myself to feel comfortable with success, in quotations, everyone's looks different, but mine's not really for me. It's like, I want financial success. One, I want to be able to go into school, just do everything that I'm doing without having to worry about, not that I worry, but have a sponsor or people actually buy it. It's like, I just want to give. I want to donate $1 million, but in order to do so, money needs to flow back. So whatever, it doesn't really matter. But one thing that I've always wanted to do is take all my friends and family on an all expense paid trip, maybe around the Greek islands, basically I'd like a yacht and a helicopter so that I could take the helicopter from land to the yacht, a few minor boats, like speedboats, jet skis, etc. Activities. It's like camp for adults and water babies. Anyway, so that's what I'd love to do. And take everyone. So it's like, I feel like a lot of these things I don't do for me. It's like, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being in my life and being so extraordinary and amazing. And even my friends' parents and everyone, I want to just take away and be like, here you go, enjoy this week away. Do whatever you want. Have so much fun. Thank you for everything. So that was one thing where I kind of thought, okay, well, Sky, in order to do that, to like show your gratitude to the extent that you want to, stop fearing success. And if people are resentful, then help them through their ego and know that everyone's on their own life path and that everyone has a different purpose, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, those are my inner thoughts. I just don't care what anyone thinks or how you perceive that. And I think before I was too connected to my ego and that I didn't want people to see me in the wrong light, because it's like, no, really, I am doing this for others, obviously for myself too. And then I had to go, is this for my ego or is this for my purpose? But then when I just surrendered to everything, like even my art, seeing it as not necessarily me like promoting, selling myself. It felt uncomfortable doing that before, but it's like, but no, it's actually just all part of it. I want to share my light. And the only way to do that is to share my light, share what I create, share those things. So the point of this is recognize, is it fear of success or is it fear of failure? Most likely it's going to be fear of success, because I don't really think we can fail at anything. I think everything is divinely mapped out. As much as a sort of will and choice that we have in life, I do think we're following a greater path that our souls have already kind of signed up for before entering this lifetime. And what I guess is hard, another side comment. What was hard for me to accept, I've talked about this before, but an astrologist. It was really fascinating because it makes sense. My soul, so this is my 150th lifetime. Super fun. It's a blast. I'm loving it. And I did a deep meditation retreat a few years ago. And basically the message that I got, the number one message that I got was this lifetime is, the purpose is to have fun, which I just thought is too easy. I don't deserve, like, I do deserve it, but like, I feel like I should work for it, which I do work for it. I work just in a different way. I don't grind in an office. I grind in the realms. Seriously, I spend hours meditating just trying to like sort out this physical world. And what I realized is because my soul has already done the challenging lifetimes. Like, and I know maybe at first it was like, is that me just justifying how easy this life is? And it's not necessarily easy, because there's definitely been some traumas, but I feel like I've been able to see the bigger picture quicker. So I see the value, like abortion. Okay, yeah, that was horrible, but I snap out of it quite quickly, because it's like, okay, that taught me so much though. Death, grieving, that taught me so much. Yes, I still feel emotions, and sometimes, like right now, even just briefly mentioning it stirs up so much within me that's like, ugh, it makes me want to puke. But I don't see it as bad, even though they're really uncomfortable emotions and I don't enjoy it at the moment. I enjoy the moment because I know that that's what we're here to experience, is a range of emotions. So there's that perspective that I have towards things. And that's what makes this life easier, is because I'm more aware. I've had a lot of, but now I'm almost letting go of past lifetime sort of routines and habits. Like, I think my soul has been a fighter for however long. I don't know how many lifetimes, because that's almost my natural state, is like, no wonder I love kickboxing. I have a collection of knives. Like, I'm like, why? Why does this sweet little girl have this obsession for like weapons and martial arts? But I think because I honestly was that, like, a fighter in a past life. Somebody told me I had a lot of war trauma, and that this lifetime is letting go of that. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard. You think it has to be hard because it's always been hard, but it doesn't have to be anymore. Like that, I've learned those lessons. I'm good now. Now is the reward. Like, this lifetime is the reward for all the rest. And there's definitely some like guilt and shame associated to that, which I've just been letting go of. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much. It's so great. So that's what I do in my meditations. And I almost just release the way of life as we know it. This whole system that we operate in, I don't think it needs to be this way. Almost reverting back to the sharing your services is sort of how I've been operating. We're not necessarily trying to find money. I'm just doing what I love, focusing on giving the services that I love, the books that I love. Yeah, okay, if somebody wants to buy it, great. I've been trying to allow people to actually buy it from me because it always felt uncomfortable. But it's like, that might be their gift because I love supporting people. I want to buy it. I love gifts. I love giving. It's just a flow. So if you do experience sort of like this, fear and lack and scarcity, I know it's really hard to let go of that, but it's as simple as faith and trust. And I know that's why kind of religion is so successful. I'm not necessarily a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I do feel that I am, of service to the higher realms, of the higher powers. I do feel like I'm a vessel just for that. But I don't necessarily feel associated to one religion. But I do think there's a higher power, and we are vessels to communicate that. And if you can find what you're here to do, it won't feel like work. People are like, do you work? And it's like, no, I don't. Do you? Too bad. But like, yeah, I work every day. Some days it definitely does feel like work, but overall, it just feels divine. Everything feels divine. And there's things that tasks that I don't enjoy, but how I work with it is I see, okay, I'm learning a skill, and then I'll shift this over to my desired industry. It's like event management. Okay, I didn't necessarily enjoy creating newsletters all the time back in the day, but now I know how to do it. I know how it all works. I know how to host an event. I know how to host a festival. Now I can actualize my fitness festival dream, and I know what all the moving parts are. Before I couldn't do it because I couldn't see how it worked. Okay, well, enjoy your morning thoughts. I'm going to hang up now because I just want to move on with my day, / finish my journaling. But I had all these thoughts and I wanted to share them, and I hope this helps. And let me know, because it does help me when you provide feedback. And don't ever feel like it's negative feedback. I appreciate critical feedback. Please tell me how I can do better. I love you. I'm here for you. If you need support, please ask. Don't worry about financial compensation. Just allow me to give to you, and then all I ask is that you pay it forward. Give to somebody else in a way that you can provide. And that's how I feel. So for so many years, I'm always the one hosting events, obviously with a team, but I've had so many friends support me that I just kind of felt guilty, because it's like, I want the opportunity to help others. I just feel like people are mostly helping me. And now I have the opportunity to help others, or at least I've created more opportunities. I don't know, however it works, but I love doing things for others. When people ask me, I'm like, it's a privilege that you feel comfortable to ask me to help you, because I know how uncomfortable it is to ask people to help you. I fortunately have had friends that would just be like, let me help you, and then I would accept. Otherwise, I try to do it all on my own. But now I'm that person. Let me help you. I want to. I love it. Okay, love you. Bye.